Shut up! I see you, Plesioth.
I know you do. I'm still gonna kill you though.
Oh, I know. I just wanted to say something before you do.
What?
You suck. I'm a herbivore, and people like me more than you.
Why would you say that? I'm gonna go get my dad, and he's gonna beat you up.
Hello, my fellow hunters. Do you want to know a little bit of a secret? Piscine wyverns are awful. Okay, fine, that's no secret. I don't think it's a hugely controversial statement to say that out of all of the categories of monster, the piscines, the plesioth, the levisioth, the geratatos, and the beatotus are the weakest, the worst, the least interesting, the most, well, blah. But that doesn't mean they can't get better. That doesn't mean they don't provide the perfect staging point to talk about one of the most fascinating little snippets of lore of Monster Hunter. And that is the extinct species. Those confirmed to have been but have died out. Those of old that were monstrous, powerful, intimidating, a fourth thing. Those that if they were still around would make our elder dragons look like elder puppies. Which I guess, when you phrase it like that, it's just a normal dog of normal age. But you know what the intention of my words were! Today, then, we begin our exploration into these, well, I suppose, dinosaurs of the Monster Hunter world, if we want a our world equivalent, with one that technically, actually going against everything I just said, still exists. A creature of the deep, a behemoth of such gargantuan size and power that to encounter one is to encounter death itself. A being that makes Plesioth's hips look veritably tiny. Yes, we are talking today of the ancient Serpent, the only name of which it is known. The specifics are as murky as the water it inhabits. This is a giant piscine wyvern, and, well, look at it! Imagine that being encountered in Monster Hunter. It could have been so. Concept art it is, and confirmed to technically exist within the Monster Hunter world, it is. In fact, as I said, ironically, it is one of the few ancient extinct species that still is around, and it is of such danger and ferocity that the guild has a strict, if you encounter one, you kill it right now. You ask no questions, you don't be like,
Mr. Ancient Serpent, sir, can I get your opinion on modern-day piscine wyverns?
They are all massive disappointments, and I would tell you more, but I've already killed you.
Oh, well, that's not very nice of you, is it?
And the idea then of this actually coming into play, being implemented some way down the line, is beyond, I think, understandably exciting. The idea that there is a series of monsters that are extinct, that are progenitors of the monsters we know today, that are the ancestors of what we hunt every single time we go a-hunting, to know that there is this dirty, great, big, ancient serpent that is still writhing around in the depths, likely tussling with Nikakos or Cedius, having a bit of a scrap with an abyssal Lagiacrus, knowing that that is there, and it is something that is recognized by the guild, something that dangerous, something so very rare that you have to slay it on sight. It is your duty as a hunter, this granddaddy of piscine wyverns, a elder dragon level version of them, to really represent the class of wyvern in a way that actually has some memorable oomph and isn't just, well, either a hitbox meme or an anticlimactic mud-based bore. See, this thing looks phenomenal. It is, of course, legless, so you would have to have a underwater combat return, though you could have a sort of landmass and have it writhing around in the water around said landmass, breaching onto it as it jumps across, or writhing its head, trying to snap at you with those gnarly-looking teeth before retreating, slithering back in to the depths, but that would turn it into perhaps a little bit too janky, a bit too gimmicky of a fight. So to me, you are going to re-implement water combat. Future, down the line, Monster Hunter 6, World 2, whatever it is, water combat is coming back. They've said they're open to it, they've thought about it, they think they can do it justice this time around, and I think ultimately the potential of it is huge. It really is that whole other frontier that allows for a whole other type of creature that just gives a whole other experience than you could ever get on land or air. There is something deeply terrifying on a primal instinctual level of being in the deep with a creature of said deep, because it is such alien territory. It is uncomfortable. You can't move properly, you can't operate properly, it's not where you're supposed to be, so it scratches this primal oh god, and that is very fun to then have to combat something while combating that feeling. And if that something is this guy that looks like he could just so much as look at you and then good night, is one hell of a way to have perhaps a flagship elder dragon that is this ancient serpent actually lead the charge, both for the piscine wyverns and for the return of underwater combat. Now, technically speaking, he has had a perhaps little appearance in the games. There is a lovely frozen section of a lovely frozen map that has, well, to me, a little bit of a skeleton of the ancient monster itself, and this is supported by Capcom's penchant for doing this. They like to put little nods to monsters that never were around the place for you to notice, and well, one of them that really has been noticed that never could not have been is the Dalamadur skeleton in the Vale. It is entirely possible, and indeed there is some evidence to support it, that it is an ancient Dalamadur when they were so much larger. Think Titanoboa, the largest snake to ever live compared to our modern day snakes. It is an order of magnitude more fearsome, and perhaps that's what those Dalamadur skeletons were. They've been there for millennia, and that is something very cool to think about. That would explain their preposterously larger, multiple mile long projected size compared to the Dalamadur we fight. That, or they're just the adults. But if we go for this ancient look to them, well, we can then look at this, trapped in the ice, the jaw of our friendly, I say friendly, ancient serpent. Yeah, I think that was, yeah, it's me, so I think that's definitely confirmed! No, it is definitely close enough to the artwork for me to completely believe that. At the very least, it is a colossal and very scary water-based creature that has met its untimely end in the frozen waves here, and that is a lovely little nod to it. So to me, this ancient serpent is something that is potentially plausible. It's confirmed to still be alive despite dating back to, well, as far as you can go back in the world of Monster Hunter. It is destructive for any seaside settlement. It is Elder Dragon level. The guild have confirmed it to be thus, so it does fit that kind of powerful endgame water-based hunt, and it is just wondrous. Wingless, legless, a eel of ginormous proportions that rules the deep sea, along with the other colossal creatures we know dwell there. I think he is just phenomenal and would be one hell of a fight. You could totally see the little spots on him being quite bioluminescent, and you could end up in a very dark underwater cavey type system with loads of these holes carved into the rock that he pokes his head out like a moray eel likes to spend its time in the reef waiting for something to drift just a little bit too close, and it grabs them. And you could be very atmospheric. You could use a lot of clever lighting and make it so that you're not even sure what you're going up against. It's just a disturbance. You're a hunter been sent to swim. You could do one of those classic, ha, got you! It's one of the opening hunts in the game, but we're also gonna put the endgame monster on it. Like you're swimming along, gathering underwater resources, when you just see this row of white lights in the gloom, and they are the lights along its body, and then suddenly they shift and move, and this thing swims past you, not attacking you, whether it's not noticed you or doesn't care yet, but you experience just a long time, a few seconds, but it feels like an eternity as its body just endlessly floats past you before disappearing. And then maybe if you take just a little bit too long, it just surges back, and that is one-shot territory if I've ever seen it. The point being, though, is this guy is the perfect way to give the piscine wyverns both a member that is impressive, a memorable fight, and to give them a leading role in a potential return to underwater in an Elder Dragon flagship-y capacity. And I just think he's fantastic. I wish I could tell you more about him, but there really isn't too much to go on. He is very much not that fleshed out, but I think the fact that there exists these extinct ancient species is just wonderful, and I am very excited to talk about a few more in the coming weeks. But until then, let me know what you think of this guy. What would you call him? I think that's a good question to ask. Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.